Okay, so today I'm going to continue into episode 2 of me delving into Shaman for the first time in a super long time. It's one of those classes for me that's probably like right in the middle tier. Not one of my most played classes like Warrior and Warlock would be, or not one of my least played classes like Priest or Rogue. So I've been going through and playing all these fun gimmick decks with each of these classes, like either my favorite deck ever or my favorite mechanic. You know, Renounced Darkness or Explore Ungoro for Warlock and Warrior. And so for Shaman, one of the classes, again, that I haven't played that much is that probably the only thing I can think of is Evolve. There's not really one particular deck that I really like. I don't really care about the Murloc decks and stuff like that. So, and what I decided with the channel art is I want to change it when I do, maybe when this whole series of doing these gimmick decks is over. So I wanted to use this one now. It's kind of the same theme, but I've always used this one so far. It's only fitting that it took so long to finally make a Hearthstone art, and I made it like at the end of 2022, but then I made two for the price of one. So it's like, you know, it was sort of long overdue with how much I used to stream Hearthstone and stuff like that. So these I don't really care too much about, and you obviously have a mini set kind of going on, and I don't care too much about that, but maybe there will be a fun, there might be a fun dynamic to it with respect to, what do you call it? We got the little clown troll. What was I calling it? Thirst Trap Ner'zhul, and of course, which one's worse? Clown Face Arthas, the one that I also bought, or that? Because at least Cthulhu and Sylvanas I don't mind for like the 3D portraits. Those ones always look cool, and I can take seriously. But the Thirst Trap Ner'zhul and the fucking Clown Face Arthas are both salt in the wound, and it's almost like they're trolling me with respect to the you know, that I wanted the frozen armor one so badly. 73 cards, maybe there'll be something in here that actually has the evolve thing. But the one thing that I obviously noticed in thinking about this whole Shaman 1 is the fact that evolve isn't actually a key word, even though I and probably other people use it like that. Whenever you're transforming a minion, the card text actually reads kind of like Elusive used to read, is like can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. So we called it elusive or evasive as a fan term, but it wasn't until like literally this year, 10 years into the game coming out, being out, that you actually got the official keyword. So it's the same thing with evolve. Every card actually technically reads transform a minion into one that costs X more, right? Instead of just saying evolve with like a number next to it, meaning evolve is the key word. You have to read it out in that verbose way. Dr. Boom's Incredible Inventions Golden Set. If you draw a minion, get a copy of it that costs 1. Pawn Elusive. Koi Rantis. See, this is the kind of state of the game that we're in, though. If you have 10 mana crystals, gain +7/+7. 6 mana, 14/14. Wow. That is fucking broken, dude. What is some of this shit? I mean, it's just normal power creep. Twisted Pack. Add 5 random cards from other classes to your hand at the end of your turn. Discard them. See, that would be a fun card, but it's not, because at the end of your turn, stuff is kind of... Not saying it's not good, but just kind of seeing if there's anything fun. But I want to add, like, I like this music. It's kind of a troll. This whole expansion is kind of like a troll in a way, just the way that Rush Overload 4, nothing really stood out to me too much. Transform all minions into random legendary ones from the past. Well, that could be kind of good as a... Since it's golden, I can't tell. Does that mean it's a shaman card, like with the blue at the top? I don't even know how. I've never really thought about it like that. It might be. So this might be the perfect thing that we actually need, because it's only 2,000 gold, which isn't even that bad, but... Dr. Boom's tinkering away. So you can't craft these, right? Like, I forget how a lot of these things work because I don't pay attention to the current meta. Wave of Nostalgia. That might actually fit with what I'm trying to do. How amazing. Wave of... That's kind of what this whole series is, too. Like, Wave of Nostalgia. No, I could just make it, though, and for 40, no less. Transform all minions into random legendary ones from the past. Now, all would mean that it includes your opponents, but it could also mean the ones in your hand. Like, the way the card text is written in this game is not always super clear. But no, I have to find, like, some minions that are actually going to be... What do you call it? And this is, like, my second favorite, probably, hero from the original set of the Death Knights from Knights of the Frozen Throne. Jaina was really good, but I probably liked Rexar the most because the zombies are pretty fun. Death's Here Thrall is probably number 2, and then Jaina is probably number 3. Or even Gul'dan is pretty badass with the battle cry. But I'm ranking it less on how good they were and just how fun they are. But I never really played as it that much. But the main thing I'm missing is like Doppelgangster, which I still won't have enough dust necessarily to do here, because I always keep devolving my collection by, you know, disenchanting it or something. But there must be other things that serve the same purpose pretty well. right? Just sort of high cost things that make clones of themselves and things like that. But let me try to make something with respect to Isle of Mischievous Toys. Or you know what I kind of forgot about is the whole twist mode. I forgot that it almost even exists because it's been inactive for so long. It feels like almost longer than normal, right? What even is it? Because I was trying to make a point, 12 days, 5 hours. I don't know why they do that. Just let you play the last one and keep it going until the next one starts. But no, it's basically like I would make a point to play in Twist if these decks were playable there. Like I was able to use Renounced Darkness there, I guess technically, even though it didn't work properly, it at least let me use it. What else is showing up as new here? Why is it doing this? But Toyrantis seems really badass. But this card at least fits with what I'm doing, just as far as transforming my minions, even though it does seem like it would be for your opponent too, but I guess that's fun too. Or what you could mix into here even further, Arphis. If they did the other Ner'zhul one now, at least it would make up for this. So I don't want to spend more money on this shit anyway. But no, what was I saying? I could do like Yogg Saron along with this too, to make it as random as possible. I saw somebody using a deck like that we went against, like some kind of Yogg crazy clown fiesta type thing. But I guess I wouldn't get like a super good draw on Yogg though, because it's not like I'm casting that many spells anyway. Like even that's not super fun. Cast 2 random spells, cast a random spell for each spell you cast this game. If you cast 10 spells, there's nothing really super exciting with that. Let me just try to make let me just get rid of some random stuff, and I think I disenchanted mostly everything, but like this. Do I really want this? Shuffle copy in your deck with permanently doubled attack and health. That could be some sort of fun theme that I do, but I'm not probably going to do it now anyway. Like, whatever, you could just keep doing it over and over. I like when these cards are neutral though, because there is so much potential for it. The problem is that anything I'm trying to do with these gimmick decks now is so deeply hindered, because like even with the Druid one is where it sort of dawns on you so strongly. Like these elusive, evasive ones that are so fun, where it's like you summon something that's evasive and they can't target it, and then you keep buffing it or whatever, and then you try to run away with it with like the AoE buffs. That would never work even back in the day when I would use it, but it especially won't work now. Why? Because everybody has like too much removal and too many crazy things, whereas before you could sometimes beat even really good meta decks just because of the simple fact that what was it called? The Wave of Nostalgia. That is a pretty fortuitous one that I got, right? That's just super fun because it plays into the whole thing. In fact, I probably should have 2 of them. But I think most of it, I feel like I didn't even have enough stuff to put in here, because it's like if you played an elemental, again, we never really go for value with this as much as we just go for transform enemy minions. Even the ones that I do to the enemy I don't care as much about, but just because we don't have enough stuff to put in here, period. In fact, my main problem with this is I don't even think I had enough minions. Like, a lot of this stuff is just random, but like, where are even the minions? We have too many transformative things and not enough actual things to transform. Each turn this in your hand, transform into a random card in your opponent's deck. Transform all minions into random Murlocs. I mean, I guess that kind of still fits with the theme of it. After your opponent plays a minion, transform it into... Or like, I should have Faceless Manipulator with this and stuff too. I guess that's fine, but well, yeah, maybe I should cut down on some like, really, what minions would I have here that I'm playing? We have a 3 cost is my lowest one. Like, this is unacceptably stupid, but I'll still try it. This is apparently what I was using last time, and we don't have a sort of a round robin condition where like, oh, if I lose I'll play as something else. So the Zoomer Whizbang performed pretty badly, despite how fun some of those decks are. Sort of the newer Whizbang when we did our little Whizbang Gauntlet. So that was just like a little detour. So the classes that remain are Paladin and Mage, and then after that we have Rogue, which I kind of neglected with the underplayed thing. So we have Rogue, Death Knight, and Demon Hunter will be the last 3, but the next 2 will be Paladin and then Mage. So we are almost done with this. I'll actually keep that maybe just for the fun factor, but I need some kind of lower cost cards that would do this, and I don't like net decking or looking stuff up even for this purpose, like even to look up a fun deck, not a meta deck, just like whatever would kind of be the most viable or interesting I mean, I guess you can even do it to your own fucking totem. Whatever would be the most interesting way to do this sort of evolved thing, which I don't think I've really seen anybody commit to it, you know, as the full primary only thing that they're doing. Right, they'll have a couple cards that might do it, but not, and again, it's technically not even called that, but the whole point is just to see as many of these fun interactions as possible, and the point is, it's supposed to be a net positive, but sometimes you'll get something stupid, because, right, it has, like, a really good battle cry, so it's actually worse, but it costs more because it expects that you're getting value from that, which, of course, internal RNG in a card game is a whole clown fiesta in itself, because...
How astonishing.
Oh, I like his voice, but I don't think I actually got anything. I don't think I actually tried any of those last time. So that's the first emote I've ever heard from this fucking Thirst Trap Nerzul. But no, yeah, like the Doomsayer play is a classic. Like you'll devolve or evolve something into that one way or the other, and it'll fuck you over or fuck them over with like something crazy like Doomsayer with the effect. But there should almost be, that's kind of what twist mode can be, but like a mode where you can only use like sort of fun suboptimal stuff, which is usually what I've been doing anyway lately. Transform adjacent minions, the one that costs 1 more. Transform friendly minion, one that costs 2 more. Infuse, transform all instead.
Watch your precious mana.
What does this affect? After you play an outcast card, add a random outcast card to your hand. Three, 4. Oh yeah, it keeps the statting, so at least that's good. But it really doesn't matter what it is. Yeah, all we're trying to do is get as many of these things off as possible. Something like Lorthamar even that I've used in some of these just because it's a fun way to bolster up some of these gimmicks won't even work with this because you're transforming yourself so often, right, that the statting won't even matter. I'm trying to think what other things could kind of complement it. I'm not really in the mood today to try to build the deck too much more, so, and I don't even have that much dust, so I'll just save that for, I might do this for like a 2-month thing because this kind of deserves to be fleshed out a bit. Right, so it doesn't really matter. But I'm trying to, I'll have to look through and really see what would make sense else to put in here, aside from just more minions because I have so goddamn few. Transform into one that costs 2 more, but this one only costs 1, so you'd actually be better off doing it on there. It's a 4-2. May as well do that one as well, even though not really, I guess, because it was only a 1 cost anyway. I should have done it on that. If you control no other minions, deal 2 damage. Or there'll be some card now that'll say even when you evolve stuff, you get to keep the battle cry. Right, you get to get the battle cry from it even if you're playing it like that. Yeah, I'll change the art to the other one once I actually get done with this gimmick series, I guess, and I'll start using that one just because that'd be a good sort of checkpoint way to do it, even though it's basically the same anyway. That seems like a power creep play to me. Just fill up your whole fucking board, even though it still doesn't seem really all that impressive. Plus 1 less for each damage you've taken on your turns this game. You know, this is cute, but you don't get to actually do anything with it. Transform enemy minions in the one that costs 1 less and friendly into ones that cost 1 more. Honestly, what they have on the board right now isn't very threatening at all, so I could almost care less. Were his abs really like that in Warcraft 1 or 2 or wherever you get to see him? Because as much as I say I'm Nerzul's biggest fan, it's basically based on Warcraft 3. So you could say, oh, that's like just a bandwagon fan. But realistically, I've deliberately not played Warcraft 1 and 2 and held them off because, you know, even though WoW and Warcraft 3 are 2 of my favorite games ever, I've deliberately avoided playing Warcraft 1 and 2 just because I'm trying to save them because we'll never get to see Warcraft 4. So I want to have something to look forward to in the series at least. Kind of like with Half-Life 2 Episode 1 and 2, or even the original Half-Life. I've beaten Half-Life 2 countless times, but I've never finished any of those, or I've never played the DLC, because you'll never get to, oh my god. You'll never get to, or yeah, what would happen with this? You transform it into something that costs 19, but there is nothing maybe that costs 19, so what the fuck happens? It'll just disintegrate. I don't know how exactly that works. This is pretty good because you can obviously do that and then immediately evolve it. Or what, it just doesn't work then? It should kind of round down to the lowest common denominator possible. Give all enemy minions -2 attacks this turn. Okay. I mean, this would have been fun to play even just in and of itself, for the sake of being able to, you know, whatever, just see how perfect is that this gets released right with the mini set, right when I'm doing this too.
Yourself well.
Your end.
Oh, it even cuts off the fucking thing. I can't remember if I won or lost the first game last time. Yeah, I'm okay with that generally, but I'm trying to think like what minions would really even make sense. Like, is there something that just summons a copy of itself, even if it's not good or like high cost? Like the Serenite Chain Gang is a perfect example. Anything like that, right? Just to have a good pool of minions to draw from. Destroy a friendly minion, summon a copy of it. I don't see really the point of that. Summon a copy of this. Like, you might think these are stupid, but it's still better than if you control a secret, summon a copy of this. It doesn't matter even if they're good or not. It just matters if you know. Here, just so I remember, summon a copy. Do it like that. And then what was the other thing I said? I mean, even I guess the doppelgangster would be along the same lines. But we'll deal with it for now. Oh shit, I forgot about that. We'll just get rid of some shitty thing that I have currently. I'm even trying to play into like the faceless manipulator mindset, even though I don't have that in there, like with, you know, oh haha, we're gonna use like this thing, you know. Anything that actually involves evolving, I'm going to keep 2 of for sure. Or I guess not really. All minions into random, but that's because it does your opponents too. Which usually that'll help a lot with your opponent's minions because it'll negate their effects and death rattles and all that kind of stuff. So it's really not a bad thing. Why is this even in there? Transform minions in your deck into random dragons. They keep their original cost. I guess that is pretty fun though, even though it's not super relevant. This one I don't think I've ever played in my whole life, right? I've never played this card. Transform your minions into random legendary minions. Or this is kind of the same thing. All your minions, or all minions, period, into legendary ones from the past. Summon a random 6/5/4. So I just have to get rid of any one thing here. Possibly something... I don't know. I guess this is kind of a worse version of what I'm already doing. Right. 3, 4, 5. Transform with the Echo is obviously pretty fun, although it's not really the most efficient. Mutate... I don't want to get rid of like one copy even if any of these. Let's get rid of some random minion here, I guess, because this will still be 2 4-cost ones that we get despite anything else. Transform enemy minions into 1 less and friendly ones into ones that cost 1 more. Transform everything into a Murloc. I guess I'll get rid of that, although it kind of defeats the purpose. Like, why do I even have this? This doesn't even make sense. I guess it paid off pretty well the last time, but I like that one better because you're still getting 2 copies of it, even if it's not really that good, and they do technically cost 3, right? Even the fact that the spell costs 3. Maybe they don't, actually, I forgot. Let me see. Whatever, that's always the overall theme that you'd be going for. I kind of want this for some reason, but it doesn't really make sense. Right, yes, you're trying to transform stuff, but why does that even make sense? Right, it has nothing really to do with this. And so this is like a very old god-esque mechanic, though. It's like you're somehow manipulating life and, you know, transforming creatures into twisted abominations of themselves to make them stronger. Right, you just kind of associate this with that. And, like, there's a lot of the faceless cards that do similar effects. There's, like, that 4/5, I think, that does something like that. Transform something into something that costs 1 more. As, like, a battle cry.
Versus the Lich King.
I like how he says that, though. He holds the U, Nerzul.
darkest visions.
But it's literally you. You're the real Lich King, the real Lich King versus the fake Lich King, even though you're still part of that until they row you out of it for some stupid ass reason. Draw a minion, transform all minions into friendly minions into copies of it. This is cute and all, but I don't think I'm actually going to be able to use any of this, but I'll still do it. Because they're all at least low cost. And again, even if I end up doing it on the fucking totem, I'm still fine with it, but it's like, it's unlikely for that to happen. Yeah, this is the true battle of the RP fans here. I'm the Ner'zhul fan, everybody else is the clown-faced Arthas fan, so it's like, you know, let's see who the real Lich King is, and it's obviously me. It would make more sense if I was in the frozen armor too, but we're gonna put the phony Lich King in his place, despite the writer's desire to retcon and try to make him the one big bad guy. So I'll literally do this with the totem if I have to, but I'm fine with it for now. Yeah, I'm struggling to actually find anything super low cost that I want to play. All the things I want to play are at least a little bit higher, like 3 and up. I literally have no 2 cost or below minions in the whole deck, which is, maybe it's logically consistent with this a little bit, but you know, it's still fine for now. So you'll get, it only costs 1 though. See, this is the problem with some of these effects. The effect costs 2, but the thing costs 1. It almost shouldn't be like that. Start of your turn, summon 2 1/1 silver hand recruits. That's actually pretty good. And we get to evolve all of them then. That's my card. I got to use that with Shudderwalk, even though I hate that fucking cancer card. That's beautiful. And then now we get to into ones that cost 1 more, and then you could do both of these, right? Like,
To the front lines.
do this and then do it again. Let's just see what we get though. Echo, adapt your other raptors. That one's actually okay, but I mean, you can't really pick and choose here. You just have to do it. If only we had the infuse too, we could do it even again. 2/1 death rattle. Your hero power gives you 1 more attack this game. Does that mean it will still do it though? Because it's not 1 more, it's just 1 total. So that's actually not a bad board. See, look how it's already played out pretty well. And it's just going to keep getting worse and worse if you can't deal with it. But in before crazy AoEs, because everybody has, again, everything. Yeah, well, that's not a very good AoE anyway. Yeah, the hardest part is just getting stuff to stick, but if you can do that, it's very good. Or there are certain things that actually generate, like, it's not very expensive actually to evolve stuff. That's the whole beauty of it. And what you get from it is sometimes like a full heal, right? Just by the simple fact of, we go ahead, we do this, and then we can now select out if I'm not happy with something I get. After this attacks the minion, attacks the enemy hero. That one's not really too good. 2/2, it's also not too good. It transforms from a Murloc to another Murloc. We get Taz Dingo fucking clown from this. Fuck. Like, you cannot deny the fun factor of all these decks that I've played. I was a little disappointed with the Druid one, because even though I love that, I wasn't getting sort of the fun interactions. It's not even that, oh, I wasn't winning, because I don't expect to always win with these decks. But when you do, at least it should be satisfying. But I was struggling to really get the interactions that I wanted. That you get like a, you know, 24-24 or whatever, 28-28 Tyrantus that they can't target and they can't do anything about it. But it just wouldn't happen, or when it would happen, it would still be sort of underwhelming somehow. They'd still have an answer for it. One that costs 3 more, and then we can also like, let's just ignore his dumbass. But then again, since we're getting the free heal, it's almost like it doesn't matter. But oh, fuck. Okay, whatever. I should not have obviously done that. Okay, it costs 3 more. 7/5. What is the effect? Cast all foul spells. I should have done this like with the other thing. The 9/6 Hakar, the Soul Flare, Shuffle Corrupted Blood. A lot of these effects are just going to be purely for the sake of randomness. Or this is almost like the anti-Yogg Saron, where it's less about spells and it's more about, you know, just random minions. But I was almost thinking of combining the two, but we're not really going to have enough spells anyway, even if I do that. It deals 6, fine. But no, I obviously shouldn't have killed that first. I should have transformed. But then I guess I wouldn't have been able to attack it at all. Okay, that's kind of cute, but I don't actually have anything. Like, I'd rather do this first. Or yeah, I would have to do this. Okay, 2/5 Stink with Stealth has poisonous while you have no other minions. Let's just go ahead and hit into here, and then we can change anything that I don't like, or I should go almost for the higher cost ones, like equip a 0/6. Like, none of these things are really gonna matter anyway. 3/7 with Elusive, 6/4 with the Death Rattle protection, pretty good. Doesn't mean you should always use it on the lowest cost or on the highest cost ones, because you might want to share the love a bit, but just assuming they have like a crazy AoE, that worked out pretty well. Now I'd love to do this as well, or yeah, I just need more stuff that actually either summons copies of itself or generates more minions, because that's my main problem with this deck, is I don't have enough minions to evolve in the first place. Once you get them, and once you get them to stick, it can be very fun, right? But it's just very hard to do that. And yeah, Shaman is just a class that I almost, you know, some of my least played classes are my least favorite. Like, I don't like rogues, I don't like priests, their whole style of play, so it makes sense that I didn't play them. But Shaman is kind of in the bottom of the middle tier, like right after those two. But it's not even because I dislike them, or I dislike their mechanics. I just somehow never got around to playing them. In fact, as much as I like the good statting value, like in green and Magic the Gathering, like 5 mana 10/10 and all this crazy stuff, you would think I would have liked it more, because I get a 4 mana 7/7 and all these kind of crazy things playing on the board. But that was obviously a terror in arena. But the whole point is you should always attack in and trade in and then do that after, right? Why am I getting so fucking unlucky with that shit, dude? To just hit with something here and then hit your stupid face and then do it again. Even with the overload, we're still able to do it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're good. Yeah, because just because it's legendary doesn't mean it. Like, it's only a 2 cost. It's only a... Like, they could all be low cost. You'll get Blood Mage Thalnos from fucking the 10 cost that you had already. So put 3 TNT in your opponent's deck when drawn. Blow up a card in their hand, deck, and board. I could do this like with the Iron Juggernaut thing. Right? Just, instead of using it to kill them, just mill them. At the end of your turn, deal 1 damage to enemies, improved by spell damage. This is pretty fucking awesome, though, regardless of anything. I cannot argue with the results. You could do it again. You definitely wouldn't want to do, yeah, the real Lich King wins after all. But yeah, he has a bit of that timbre in his voice, even, right? That was what it was meant to be. That it was combining Nurzul's voice with Arthas' voice. That's why he sounds like the way he does as the Lich King, right? And so Arthas doesn't sound like that normally. So that's the point. It's like Nurzul taking over, and he's the one obviously in control. Like, he kind of already was in control before, because he was telling Arthas what to do, and he had already corrupted him. So I don't know how you turn that into, now Arthas is the big bad guy. That doesn't make any sense. Like, could you play as Nurzul in Heroes of the Storm? That would make me want to play it right there. Those two you don't really need, but what low cost things do I have? And the answer is basically fucking nothing. I honestly am having to settle for the stupid ass totem a lot of the time. So I put that little Murloc in there that's gonna summon 2 copies of that. Yeah, Doppelgangster is a must, and of course that was a classic synergy even at the time that the Thrall one came out. Right, like that was at the same time, so it was very intended. And you could even do them both on the same turn, right? You could have a turn 10 dead turn play where you have nothing on the board, but then you play the Doppelgangster and then you play Thrall just for 10, and you automatically get that to, like, you know, 3/7 cost things, which is pretty crazy for the time if you think about it. Like, now it wouldn't seem like a big deal, but so I shouldn't really coin that out, but I am amused by all minions into random ones with the same cost. Even that card text could be confusing. The same cost as each other, or the same cost as what they already are, which of course is exactly what it means. The same cost that they are. But But yeah, you get kind of cucked by some of these things. Like your 2 mana hero power summons a 1 cost, or your 3 mana wolf thing summons like they're like 2 costs, I think.
Trust the pirate's code.
Ah, yes, Pirate Demon Hunter, a classic deck that we all know and love. So let's go ahead and just do another one of these, do another one of these. And honestly, doing the one thing of the same cost would be pretty good here if you just did that, because I guess I don't really need to do anything. Like getting this effect off early is pretty good, but there's no guarantee I'll really be able to do that. Like with 2 things. Or I guess I could like coin out and do it with another totem, but it's not really even worth it that much. Like, what a great combo play. That's just nasty. And there's no point attacking in, or that's at least pretty worth it. Or does that actually cuck you? That's unbelievable. I didn't even know that. The portal location actually fucks you over. Because it counts, like, obviously it should still work because you know that that's the minion. What the fuck? I guess I haven't used these really that much. I used it with the imp deck, but nothing in there really. And that was like a year and a half ago, but yeah, I've almost never used these things. You would think I would know just by having seen other people play them, but Devolve doesn't really matter too much to me right now. You can't be serious with this. Now I'm gonna get fucked over by that, if nothing else. Let's deal with the totem, I guess, again. You could go ahead and hit into here. I'll just accept it. Then we'll do this. And then we'll do it again. Maybe that wasn't the most efficient way of doing it, but of course I couldn't do anything with respect to excavated twice, transform all enemy minions into 1/1 Murlocs. That is a pretty crazy fucking effect too. Who needs consecrate or equality consecrate? That's what a lot of, you know, it just puts to shame. Like I'll go through so much work to do the same thing that you get for so much easier now. Like just use Lorthamar instead of using in the Druid deck. Use like a bunch of elusive minions and like 100 different AoE buffs that combined would only do what Lorthamar does all by himself. Like what the fuck is that? This could be pretty worth it. You could do that one, but I don't know if you could just do this anywhere. You could do both of them. I kind of just want to do that. I'm not going to die because their board isn't really that intimidating. So let's just do that and see what happens. Okay, that's pretty good. That's garbage. Shuffle 10 random legendary minions into your deck. They cost 1. That was one thing I also wanted to do with the Druid, is like Jungle Giant, some kind of thing with that, but I just never got around to it as part of this whole gimmick rotation, obviously. So many fun mechanics that I just never really messed around with too much. Now the problem is no matter how much you devolve them, it's not going to kill them, so that's still too much board presence that they have. I don't have any actual proper AoE in here. Perfect 1 HP, which they could have possibly just done. What could I possibly get that's even going to... I mean, you would think this would be pretty worth it, but let's actually use this opportunity to... It doesn't matter how weak they are, because there's just going to be too many... Transform your minions into ones that cost 1 more. And you shouldn't really even do this, but... You got Ysera. We're hoping for like a taunt, basically. Destroy all other minions. It's not going to really happen. To make those cost even less, you get a really good taunt here. You may as well just do that. And I almost want to do that one again, but this is actually fine. What we're trying to just dig for again is just as many taunts as possible. Fuck. So I mean, we're obviously still dead, or maybe we're not. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but I'm sure you can come up with something. 1 damage from somewhere. So despite how random these plays are, you still are doing it with a certain amount of strategy that you know, you are still dead, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, it's HP perfect too. You are still searching for particular things, even if you're not in control of them. The chances of getting a taunt from at least one of those is worth it. What a perfect lethal kill too. Honorable kill. Why is this fucking bot brain struggling to figure it out? I almost can't even believe it, dude. Or he won't even do it. That proves he's not a bot. All minions into one more, same cost, this thing. Let's do this and hope we get like a taunt from this, basically. But I won't kill him either then. Let's actually just play this out since he has the spirit to try to do that. So we got to get at least one taunt from this, or even that. Oh, should we get even the same one? What are the chances of that? I mean, I guess it is maybe one of the same cost, but look at that crazy board. So yeah, let's just play on the board. Pretend it's like Yu-Gi-Oh, where you have to beat everything on the board first. But there were times like in the show where that didn't make sense. Like you would just, Yugi wouldn't summon anything, and it's like, why can't you just hit him in the face now? Right? You would have to, you couldn't attack people directly. You would have to destroy their minion to do damage to them. But if they don't have to summon anything, they could just sit there and do nothing, and then you can't do anything to them. There would be actual turns where that would happen. What? But I mean, either this isn't a bot or it's just a really bad bot. All minions and the summons at the same cost. Let's do that. Let's do that. Kind of at the mercy of what is happening here. In fact, I might actually just lose on the spot now. Or they should have the honor not to just kill me. I could have easily killed them myself. They could have killed me, and then I could have killed them. Now they can kill me again. I mean, every turn we could have killed each other, but I guess the taunts would have theoretically stopped it. Like, how will they randomly decide when the BMing is over and adequate? But no, this is actually more fun than I thought. See, this is more satisfying in a short-term sense. I mean, he deserved it because he already had won. So I have a sense of honor, code sort of back and forth where we're both sort of trolling. Or sometimes people will just be sort of impressed or grateful that I'm using such a gimmicky, weird thing. Like using Malkazar in 2024 with Renounce and all this kind of other shit. But yeah, this is more immediately gratifying than some of these gimmick decks, just because whatever you're doing is automatically so guaranteed and so good. Some of these are transformative of your deck overall, so they do a lot of the work for you that way too, like Renounce and stuff. But the last couple that I use, like with Hunter, you're kind of waiting for Rexar and some interactions there, and the Druid, you're kind of waiting for AoE buffs and stuff like that. So it kind of takes a little bit more work. This is kind of in between, where it's not completely transforming your deck, but it's also not... Oh shit, we're hearing some of these things. Some of his unique interactions with other characters, but this does some of the work for you, but it doesn't completely transform your deck, so it's still in the middle ground as far as the innate fun factor. And even though I haven't built this at all in the correct way, but I'm both too lazy and I also don't have enough dust anymore to really do anything. So this would work pretty well either way if you do this with the evolve or you do this with that, but it's also too expensive. The only emote I've done is, I think, WoW so far. We can just wait. We don't have to do the totem necessarily right away. I really wish they cost 2 though, as far as technically, because it wouldn't matter for anything unless you somehow get it spawned in your hand. Then, like, you never really play totems from your hand anyway. If you return it back to your hand somehow. Yeah, this is technically the first diamond hero too, which I didn't even realize that was a thing. Now we could do this and do the thing at the same time, right? And that would be pretty worth it, I think. Yeah, I suspect either these people are either bots or they're tryhards who are using like actual legend caliber decks, one or the other. It's unsatisfying because you beat a bot, or it's impossible that you're gonna win because they're actually tryharding when you're not. You could evolve, and then if you're not happy with one of them, you could always change it again. What is this? 5, 6. You can only attack if you have at least 8 cards in your hand. Has plus +1 attack for each card you've drawn this turn. After you play a secret, okay, that's not going to be useful at all. I mean, this theoretically isn't going to be useful, but we can just transform it again. You should save certain ones in your back pocket just in case you're not happy with the evolve that you got, right? Then you could just do it again. I don't like how they made the Fellstalker the succubus though, specifically because Fellstalkers are supposed to do with magic, right? So that should have like a silence effect or something, but instead it's just a random 2 mana 4/3 that makes you discard a card that has nothing to do with anything. Just to appease the Chinese market, I guess, because they're fucking sensitive or something, so they have to ruin it for everybody else. So this will be perfectly fine. You could even get rid of that, although this is actually more dangerous, all things considered. You can only do this once, you just live with it. It's gonna be still pretty decent, but 4/2s are not exactly the best statting. After you play left or right, deal 1 damage to all enemies. They can trade in pretty easily, and given the theme of my deck, that's going to ruin me pretty badly. Discover 1 that costs more to transform into. But that defeats the whole fun factor. The fun of it is that it's supposed to be random, so I don't want to choose. Or yeah, this is totally bot play over here. That you would just go face and ignore my board, then I'm going to keep making stronger. Like, why the fuck would you play like this, especially considering the way that I'm playing now? You can do this, you can do this, and then transform all minions into ones of the same cost. Discover 1. Okay, let's trade in as much as we can first, which I guess we really can't do much at all. Let's just go face. I'm not going to necessarily die. Get rid of him. He doesn't have any like really good effect. We could do the same value, or we could do... I don't like the ones that really affect the opponent's ones in that case, though. Let's just do that guy. I don't know how much his effect is really going to matter. Destroy a mech, and also attack a random enemy. 5/6, I guess, just a better version of Malkazar. Transform all into ones of the same color. I'm kind of happy with the board, but actually, I'll just do it anyway. And we get like a little rush out of it, but they got some pretty good stuff out of it too, so that certainly wasn't a good play to do that, right? But it's not that much different than what we had. I'm just sort of degenerately fiending for evolves, even if whether they're good or not. I'm just doing as many as I can. That's almost how you should have to play this. You don't play for efficiency, just like how the deck itself is not built for efficiency. You play for, like, you do as many evolves as you possibly can. And that's just what you're trying to do. Right, if you can mathematically do them, then just do them. So we'll go... I mean, there's no reason not to just trade into stuff, I guess. Although I don't really want to do that. Let's just do that, then we'll do this, transform it down a little bit. We do get that, but there's no reason to even worry about it. I wanted that to actually happen, but the infuse is taking forever to actually get, which I guess is a good thing, because it just means that you're getting, it means you're actually not losing stuff. People aren't clearing the board as efficiently as I thought they would, I guess. Like, I was just expecting AoEs out the wazoo, because there's so many now, and they're so fucking easy to do, to the point where they're even destroying my elusive stuff so easily. Of course, these decks I'm going against are not going to be very good, but they really shouldn't be very good. Transform minions there, doesn't really matter. We should almost do this for the sake of, you know, you could do... No, you can't do both, though, but maybe it doesn't matter. Right, you can just do this and just live with the outcome for now. The lifesteal there will be pretty good too. What's probably the best thing that I could get value out of 3 cost, 4 cost. All these are pretty good actually. I'll do it actually on that for whatever reason. 2, 4, not really a big deal. Most of these effects are not going to have any value at all. Yeah, he is like an elemental shaman based on his appearance. Just fucking using a staff. Yeah, I don't actually know all what the story is. Like the Legion did it somehow to punish him, but then they were still telling him what to do and he was still doing it. But then he plots his meticulous revenge and he's so smart that he kind of outmaneuvers the Burning Legion. Or this is like key way to sort of BM people, because you're trying to basically you're trying to basically see as many of these interactions as you can get. Let's go ahead and do like this trick over here, 5-4. So we got, let's see, this one's sort of undervalued here. That one's pretty undervalued, right? Because all these effects are just not coming into play. Portal Overfiend. 3 portals in your deck. More like me playing PvZ hard mode, because I've overdone that one. I've overfiended that fucking minigame. Portal Combat. Yeah, this is kind of the good garbage time where you get to just kind of show off the same sort of idea. Just do that. Let's just do that. And then we get to... Oh, whoops. Let's just do that. I don't really care about the dragon element too much. So we can do it even again here too. Mainly to correct one that maybe I'm not entirely happy with. At least we're getting to see what these interactions are to their utmost capability. Guess we can do it again. I haven't really gotten much of a chance to use depths here. Eat a minion in your deck and gain its stats, add it to your hand. That's my kind of statting. That's like a Magic the Gathering card, except it would be a 10 mana like 14/14. Why even hold it back? You know, some of those green values are off the chain, and of course dinosaurs in particular benefit from that the most. We could echo something out. We could do this one too. You can get him to 1, then you can keep doing something here as much as you want. Not enough mana, that's fine. I mean, if they're gonna let me play it out like this is fine. And even if I lose, I don't really care. The problem is most people get mad or they think you're BMing them, but I don't really care because, you know, nobody really cares. Like, who cares who wins and loses? Like, you really think at bronze rank 7, that's really what I'm trying to do, but it matters more how you win or how you play than actually what the outcome is. Anybody can just use a good meta deck and do the same shit as everybody else.
Hey, I got you, friend.
Oh, like, I'd love to go through the whole thing and actually see how is he going to possibly react to this. And this, again, isn't me being a bad sport. It's just like, let me just see what's going to happen. Whatever, just do this like on all of them as much as possible. Just see what we're getting, see if we get something exciting. Or we'll get some effect that automatically kills them somehow. Deal 1 damage to all enemies, including the hero. Just fucking total madness. Fucking chaos that we're doing here. What is this? The fact that you're in turn, summon a demon from your deck, which you don't even have one. You got a couple, you know, similar themed giants over here. Dragon Caller Alana, I haven't used in a long time. But yeah, most of these end up being battle cry effects that you just miss out on, so it's almost a little anticlimactic there. Clearly proves that they're a bot, because what person would sit here and endure it for this long? But again, it's not to BM as much just to have fun with these interactions, because you really get to milk it. Which I always make fun of people for doing this kind of thing. Like, yeah, you really have to savor whatever victory you can get by doing this. But with this case, you literally do have to savor it, because you otherwise, you know, you're not going to win very many games with it, even at a low rank. Let's see what this is going to be. Let's see what this is going to be. Some of them end up just being probably the same thing over and over, if they get maxed out in terms of cost, which is almost not even how it should work. It should sort of just guesstimate something else, or I don't know. I guess some of these you don't have a choice. Rush, Lifesteal, Mega Wind Fury, Overload 2. Yeah, how many things with Mega Wind Fury even are there now? At first it was only the Mimiron's head thing, right? This Dormu over here, reborn to Battlecry Death Rattle, give it +5 in taunt or whatever. Go ahead, hit this, just destroy all these. Yeah, we gotta savor this one victory because we're never gonna win any games ever with this garbage fucking gimmick themed deck. And people obviously metagaming and tryharding and net decking at fucking bronze rank 10 is a normal occurrence. Like, let's really give him a legitimate chance to see what could he possibly do about this, if there was such a thing. Like, if he actually comes back and wins, I'd be happy about it. I'd be more than fine with it. But now we're getting to the point where we can't, or that should almost be a win condition. You have to keep playing it out and evolving stuff until you can't evolve it anymore, right? Until it's like really maxed out. So I devolved them all into these just for the fun factor of seeing what else we might get from it. It's just satisfying in and of itself to see, you know, whatever we end up getting. After you play a rush minion, summon a copy with 1 health remaining. Of course, we're still using the Whizbang card back to embrace the randomness and playfulness of his whole ideation, even though we're not using Whizbang anymore. I should maybe use something different with this, or this Ner'zhul one should have come with a card back too. For fucking $25, it wouldn't be that unreasonable. I almost want a couple things to die now just so I can do that again. I'd be very impressed if he does win this somehow. I mean, all you need is like a brawl or something that I'm completely in top deck mode. Like, my big weakness here is just AoEs that clear my board because, you know, I have kind of limited minions, so I have to get the same ones to stick over and over to really benefit from this. Yeah, this is already much more fun than I would have expected, so I mainly want to focus, if I build this a little more, I want to add some more stuff that summons copies of itself, basically. Let's try to get some things actually killed. Just so we can potentially work towards that, even though I really can't work towards it. 4, 5, this thing. Some of these things I don't even know what they are necessarily, because it's like, let's get them as low and close as possible to that. Give your minions +1/+1. That's almost kind of a moot point to try to buff them because you're going to keep changing them anyway. Tradable, unlock your overloaded mana crystal to deal that much damage. Yeah, like I say, there's so many card designs in these games that are just based around puns. Like, PvZ Heroes does that kind of thing too. Like, it'll be a joke, and they'll just... I love the PvZ Heroes community because it's like, since it's a casual game, with all due respect, everybody kind of treats it in such a way that they explain things in such a matter-of-fact way. Like, I don't know how to explain it even. They just state something that's like super obvious. Whether it's because it's maybe the ultimate hindsight bias thing, although everybody's like that in everything. Where, I don't know. I've never seen a game actually quite like that. They'll state something so like battle cries, or like when you play them out of your hand, you see, like, obviously we know that, but they I don't know. Maybe I just seem like I'm a moron, which I kind of am sometimes, but yeah, see, when you run out of these, then you're allowed to actually kill them. Like, if you either don't have another interaction to do or something. If you get them all to the point where you can't evolve them any further because they're like actually, you know, like those weird cost ones that we were at. Like, how did I even get up to 13 cost if everything would be a multiplic, you know, of 1 or 2 that is going up by. So how do you get from like 10 to 13? Deal 10 damage, random thing, okay. You can do that one. Thank God that doesn't do it to the face, otherwise we'd be forced to actually end this one. Like, you're either just waiting for a random effect to do it, or you're waiting for basically the ability to... Like, who would actually play this out like this long? And this makes this deck actually look good. Like, I'm toying with these people, but his deck is just so bad, there's just nothing happening. Which is kind of refreshing in a way, but it's almost too bad. It's almost disappointing. It's not even satisfying to beat this bot clown over here. it's hard to judge whether these people are bots or not. And I hate these little Discord fucking number tag type things that they do because of the simple fact that you would want a couple of these to actually die out, but you just can't even have that happen. Right, like it's impossible for me to even get that infused thing up there. 7-5. First Vagrant, summon 7-5 with stealth. Or, you know, what these decks would be the most fun at is if you put some of them against each other. I would host my own tournament like that. One person uses Renounced Darkness, one person uses this, one person uses fucking Explore and Goro, like all these sort of random gimmicks facing each other because they're all equally bad. And then one person uses Whizbang, and Whizbang will win just because even though those are bad too, it's still more cohesive than anything else. Even the one guy I want to try to kill, it's not even going to. I just want to do that one interaction at least. Like if you can either empty out your hand, you should be able to finish them. So those are the three conditions. Either empty your hand so there's nothing else you can play, and then you can kill them, or make it so that everything is evolved fully where it can't evolve anymore, or let an effect of something that you evolve it into kill them in a way that you can't prevent. Like you can't evolve them anymore to prevent them from killing them, so your last evolve of the turn let you do an effect on the thing that's actually going to kill stuff. You can still kill that off, so we still need one more. After you summon a minion, give him more health. Can't do anything with that. We want one more thing to die, and then maybe we can actually win off that win condition, or I'll just let the fatigue take him since he seems so hellbent on actually continuing this. Or maybe it won't. Well, I can just get him lower. Should always keep him at 1 just in case he pulls something crazy off.
Behold the might of Stormwind.
I mean, it could just be like a free-to-play sort of new player, but it wouldn't be very impressive to see that. Okay, we can actually kill something off. We could do that one, I guess, because we're forced to do the evolve in that respect. 3 cost, 110. We could just do it now. Yeah, I'm forced to play that, and we finish on every evolve off in my hand. But that's actually still not going to kill him. But I mean, now it will, because I doubt whatever they play is going to actually heal them or give them armor or anything. Or I guess I could evolve it again to stop that from actually, I'm going to fucking troll all the way. I'm going to evolve him again to prevent that from killing you. Summon 4 random Murlocs. Give them Divine Shield. Oh, fuck, I don't have enough mana, so it actually will kill him. Whoops. I don't know why I thought that wouldn't cost nearly that much. But at least that feels sort of organic. Your hand is empty, you played everything you could. The final evolve that you did or were forced to do is going to actually lead to their demise from an effect that you can't even stop. Even though I technically could have stopped it there. Yeah, because like, what's the priority pecking order then? The play that would have stopped you from killing them should come before the play that is just like a mana curve thing. Like playing something naturally out of your hand. We'll do one more here, actually, but that one I kind of milked a little bit too much, but we got to see at least some of the fun interactions from this. But I need kind of 2 things. I need lower cost cards to actually play.
Ripple across eternity.
It really did, though, dude. It really did ripple for ages to come until they wrote you out of the fucking story like the cons they are. But no, it's like...
I see you've brought guests.
I need lower cost minions, and I need more minions that summon copies of themselves. Preferably of higher cost, or I just need kind of higher cost things in general that might be, you know, they might just have effects and stuff, but they won't, I don't know, like they come at some sort of cost that is subverted by this. But no, like Serenade Chain Gang, Doppelgangster, but there's a lot of newer cards I'm sure that fit into that I'm just not aware of off the top of my head. But imagine losing to this actual hodgepodge clown show fucking gimmick themed shit deck. But some people actually are. Even at a low rank, you wouldn't expect that to happen. You can do this, and then you can work towards, or maybe you shouldn't, though. Discover one that costs one more. I guess there's no reason maybe not to do it. Use toad and then return deal 1 damage to another random friendly minion. Out of 1. I mean, this almost won't have a downside to it because, you know, you're always going to be changing stuff anyway. So this is like a Magic the Gathering type of effect almost. At the end of a turn in Magic the Gathering, everything auto heals anyway, so there's no healing stuff on the board. Right, so like the priest playstyle here would be completely out the window. All you do in Magic is just heal yourself as the player. So the point is that Evolve works as a heal effectively because even though the health value might be different, you're basically, you can trade in and just heal into something else. You definitely want to save that to use it as an AoE effect, but it is pretty damn good because it's better than just your regular evolve. But no, I like how efficient the evolve mechanic actually is. For 1 mana, you can transform everything of yours and either effectively heal it or improve it, and it's a big deal. Or for just 2, you can, you know, silence all their minions, effectively bypass their death rattles, things like that. So it's way more efficient than you would maybe realize. We can just ignore his little clown thing there. And we'll do this with these 2 just to keep one taunt around, I suppose. And to remove that little damage effect that we have. So if they do kill stuff, obviously it benefits me in a certain way too. Snapdragon and Team Guardian, none of these are really worth it. But they're not bad. I mean, 3 cost, 3/3. I like how spoiled I've been from Magic the Gathering stuff, like with respect to some of those values are just so crazy. Like how, you know, you thought a 4 mana 7/7 was bad, just wait till you see a 5 mana 10/10. It's not even like that's a super rare or legendary card. It's just how certain green cards work. They're just super well statted, even compared to every other color in the game. You could do this one again. Discover legendary minion from another class. I mean, you may as well just do that anyway. Fill your board with copies of this minion. Oh shit, this is actually the perfect thing for a... Look at that, dude. But it's a warlock card. This should literally be a shaman card. Because then think about what you're doing. You're getting 8 fucking... whatever, 8 cost things. What is that, dude? Wait, what? Oh, I must have clicked to hide it. Echo, Ragnaros. Why don't we just do this? Why don't we just trade a couple things in? And then we get to basically do this one. This almost seems like it's performing too well. Like, I don't know why this is so easy for me. But I guess it's normally the beginning of the month that you end up being more competitive. Like, I got destroyed to Zoomer Whizbang. Boomer Whizbang was in on a great streak, the older one, right, to end the month. And then it lost right at the beginning in the first episode in the finale. And then the other one lost too. In like 2 games. So I was actually on a good streak the previous month. Could be just like a placebo effect, but it's actually the fact that, you know, at the beginning of the month, all the tryhards are playing at a lower rank too, and thus are more likely to get matched up with you, even if they're on their way to legend rank or whatever. Whereas I might be on my way to just getting hard stuck at the same fucking thing the whole time. Yeah, I'm not getting punished by AoEs at all. If this wasn't honorably killed, resummon. That's also another Magic the Gathering trope, is that I haven't seen AoE that much in my experience playing the game. Not that there aren't that many AoEs, but nobody really uses them as much as in this game, like where it's a foregone conclusion historically that everybody would go through their 2 or 3 AoEs in the course of the game, just very predictably. We could do Ragnaros. We could do that to bypass the thing. To bypass the... But I don't even want to do it. We just whack into all these. If it wasn't honorably killed, the Ragnaros will finish this thing off too. Now it's just a question of being able to... I really want to see that one though. Just do this and then do an AoE That's one of the sickest plays in the history of Hearthstone. You summon this and then you evolve it. So even though it's a 1/1, like what other purpose is this meant for? For like a warlock? I don't get it. What do you actually use this card for? There must be some interaction that I just can't think of. But the point is, it's perfect for a shaman. This should literally be a fucking shaman card. Maybe you'd say, oh, it'd be too OP, but in this day and age, it wouldn't be at all. Like that's a perfectly normal play. What a fucking interaction though, dude. We'll try to actually kill something off so we can work into doing that. And let me transform this stuff again for now, but like let's just do Thrall and then we can finish him off by doing that. So I should give that one up on purpose. Or wait, that was fucking stupid because I didn't mean to do that. But I guess I want my board to be empty anyway. It's exactly as I planned. We'll do that with this. So we'll get 8 fucking 10 cost cards because we get to, you know. That is so fucking stupid. What are the chances that we even see this come up? Like, something happens when I play these decks. Like, I'm getting rewarded by some universe's karma. Like, because you're doing these gimmicks, it tries to make it more fun for me. Because I'm deferring to the fact that I'm not using good decks and I'm not going to win the majority of games. But look at this interaction. Has anybody ever done this before? And the answer is probably. But the answer is also you can't even control it because it's going to be random anyway. Right? You can't guarantee that you're going to get this. It's not like you can build a deck around this. Like, ah, yes, of course, I'll build a deck that I assume is going to give me a random effect of giving me this. Also into my hand, of all things. And now there's almost too much shit on the board for me to even do this. Like, I could hold that in my back pocket as a clutch play. But realistically, I'll just do it. Look at that, dude. Or I don't know why I keep saying 8. I get 7. I'm just obsessed with the cost of it. Look at that play. Like that should go down in the annals of history as one of the coolest interactions in the game. And of course, everybody in this game always acts so cynical and jaded. Like, of course, we've seen everything before. But have you actually seen that before? Where somebody as a shaman plays that card? Herik or whatever the fuck, right? From ZG, right? But the point is that nobody's ever done that before because... I mean, not nobody has ever done it before, but it's so perfect. It's so meant for Evolve and so meant for this interaction and so meant for Shaman, even though it's not something that you would normally even do. And what a perfect response from Yogg-Saron, but little did you know the joke's on you because I still want more interactions. I didn't want to win just like that, but that is a fucking sick way to actually deal with it. Average Hearthstone play. Like, that would be the most epic, crazy thing that you've ever seen normally, but it's just not. Right, that's just like a regular play by today's standards.
Show these mortals your true forms.
You get a dinky Murloc on the other side. Nothing else is really going on, and the real weakness of what I have here is the simple fact that I don't have enough minions now, so I'm probably gonna lose. Right, that was the clutch play, so I should have held off on playing it for a while and done it when I really needed to, but I was almost just doing it to show off. That just makes me happy to see that, like, in an age where even everybody's jaded to everything, like we've seen everything before. Am I really gonna lose after that, though? That's so fucking stupid. You know, this is a great example of how, by doing this, you would basically, you know, negate the effect of that, even if... Man, we're seeing this guy a lot. Certain cards will have some random bias towards getting evolved into more. Evolved or devolved into. And transforming them into Murlocs is pretty much a devolved type of thing because it's even called a plague, like just like it's a bad thing because they're going to be pretty low statted, low value. That's so fucking stupid of them to play like this. Like, I was obviously doing it for the fun factor, but then they do this stupid meta Yogg play. Like, come on. You ruin one of the sickest interactions ever in the fucking history of the game. Because I can't really do anything to them unless I just keep devolving them. Which of course we can do again, but there's nothing I can actually summon. So that is the one major weakness of this deck, is that you just don't have enough minions overall. But no, if I had held that back, I probably could have won, or maybe not, but that Yogg play was just too perfect. That's so fucking stupid. Like, what day and age are we living in that play was not enough, that I'm getting so excited about it? It's just such a... I guess even if they use Vanish, it would ruin it, because it's like... You know, I wouldn't be able to play all that stuff because it's so expensive anyway. But the Heroic fucking Evolve play is very exciting, which we might never see it again either, because it's just so random. Nice game, dude.
I will shatter you.
No, I guess I should have played it actually for optimal purposes and held that back until I really needed it, because I still had some stuff on the board, and if they had played Yogg on that, then they wouldn't have had it for the Heroic play that should have just won me the game. That's fucking bullshit, dude. I deserve to win for an interaction like that. And now they're just gonna sit there and fucking BM me or something. Or doesn't that prove it's a bot? Like, why would it take that long? Or they're deciding whether they want to BM me or not. Okay, well, that ended off kind of on a cool note with that interaction, even though I don't get to... I'm just trying to think, what is that card actually meant for then? What does a Warlock have that's like going to really reward them for a high cost thing? Repels effect wore off. Okay, see you tomorrow.